Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and the last few days I've given you guys almost exclusively informative content, hours of informative content. Today I thought I would talk about something a little more amusing that's still ultimately informative, so let's do that. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about Michael Hearn once again. I noticed Michael Hearn completely quit calling me out though after I gave him a warning a while back. It was interesting. Didn't want anything to do with me anymore. But doesn't mean that I'm going to let him get off scot-free with conning people out of their hard-earned money with bullshit. Now, Michael Hearn made a claim in a video that was linked to me from a page called The Unnaturals. It was linked over on my fan page of him claiming that when he was 19 years old was the first time he ever hit an 815 squat. The first time. It means he's done it many times, I suppose. That's the implication. It's not specifically expressed, but it's implied that he's done it multiple times. So the first time, what's interesting, and he always claims to be drug-free. He says in there, lifetime natural, lifetime natural. We know that the IPF isn't necessarily natural, but they're the most heavily drug-tested powerlifting federation. They're the largest, most competitive, and the most heavily drug-tested. People need to remember, drug-tested doesn't mean drug-free, but it means people have to work hard to cheat. They actually have to put some real effort in to cheat in something like the IPF, and I'll give them that. You do actually have to put some work in and do some math. It's not as easy to get through their testing as it is things like natural bodybuilding. You do have to kind of know, you kind of got to know what you're doing to beat their testing. You can't be stupid about it. But you know what? No teenager in the United States, in America, has ever hit an 815 raw squat in the IPF. In fact, the heaviest I saw peeking through was in Teen 3 out of all the teenage classes and pre-juniors. So, again, under 20 years old. Actually, it might be under 23. No, but under 20 years old. The only squat I found 800 plus was in the heaviest weight class. Heaviest weight class. The highest age category. So that like 18 to 19 age category. And it was in the unlimited weight class. And it was 803 pounds. Heaviest raw squat I could find. So Michael Hearn has beat the highest super heavyweight teenage American drug tested record by 12 pounds. All right? And that was the only guy over 800. So basically, as a teenager, Michael Hearn just decided not to compete, and he was the strongest American teenage powerlifter, in the whole country. And no one witnessed it. No one witnessed it. And that's the thing. It's one thing to make a claim that's actually plausible. Meaning it is possible that someone out there has done something. That if another person has achieved something, or 50 people or 100 people have achieved something, and you claim that you did, it's hard to disprove that if you claimed it with no witnesses. That's not really unprovable. But when you claim to have done something that when it's verifiable that no one has ever done it, like no American has ever done this, and you claim to have done it without witnesses multiple times, we're dealing with bullshit. We're dealing with absolute bullshit, and we're dealing with pathological lying, and that's what the whole fake natty thing is about. Fake natties are interesting with this because he says it just like it's nothing, something that we could look at and say, but no other American teenager's ever done that. You didn't bother to record it. You didn't bother to document it. And the thing is that when you look at his current abilities or abilities over the years, Mike has never hit anywhere near an 800 squat. I've never seen Mike squat to depth. I've never seen Mike get within 8 inches of meet legal depth, to where the IPF would say, oh yeah, that's legitimate. And I've never seen him do over 585. I've seen him half squat 585. Now, no person who half squats 585 is getting 500 all the way down. So at 19 years old, which would mean he would be smaller than he is now, because again, his muscle mass is the amount of muscle that it takes many, many years of anabolics to achieve. There's a lot of creatine and whey protons. Many years to achieve. You don't just do that with a few years of training. So muscle does go hand in hand with strength. So now that he's bigger and stronger at his age now than he was at 19, he suddenly lost 300 pounds off of his squat. He squats like 300 pounds less than he did when he was 19. Because I promise you, he can't squat 500 now. He can't even get 585 more than halfway down. And watch how they do the bar angles when he squats. So he's lost 300 pounds off of his squat while gaining muscle and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because he's bigger now than he was in his 20s. He's bigger now than when he was an American Gladiator. So how does a person gain 30 pounds of muscle while losing 300 pounds off their squat? An undocumented squat, mind you, that is better than every other American teenage powerlifter who's drug tested has ever achieved. It's better than the records. He's beating the records, blowing them out of the water. No witnesses. Now, this is the same guy who claims to be a high-ranking judo champion. There's no record of any of that. He claims to be a powerlifting record holder and a powerlifting champion, yet there is no record of him breaking a single American or world record in any federation that I'm aware of. I can't find them. I looked. He doesn't say which federations this is in. So he has never broken any of the records he claims to have broken. You can check. It's verifiable. And yet he just claims it and just says it. And he uses it to sell products. And what products does he sell? Duck eggs. All right, duck eggs. He claims that his secret to his youth are duck eggs that he sells for $700 for 30 of them. Like a 1 month supply of his frozen duck eggs, he sells for $700, claiming it's a fountain of youth. FDA grade growth hormone costs less than that per kit, by the way, which really is a fountain of youth. The longevity clinics actually prescribe that stuff medically for this. All right, this is something doctors actually do give this out for people who are willing to pay enough for it. All right. He's charging more for duck eggs than for FDA grade growth hormone, while standing there claiming that these duck eggs are responsible for his youth and vigor. All right. He went and promoted the Frog, which is a device you could probably build yourself for $50 to $100 or less. Promoted it for Frog Fitness, and of course they tried to call me out on all that too. They harassed me a little bit, and they quit doing that too, interestingly enough. They don't fuck with me anymore either. The only people who fuck with me are generally people who hide behind a screen. It's interesting. They don't fuck with me either. But $1,500. He was promoting a product that was just a glorified ab wheel worth less than $100. The assembly on it and production of it was under $100. Selling it for $1,500. All right. Now keep in mind, he was selling duck eggs that I could go down right now. Fertilized duck eggs. I'm just on the outskirts of Houston, guys. I could go down to Chinatown, go down to the Vietnamese market down there. I could get those same duck eggs for probably $15, $20. And he sells them for $700, claiming they have magical longevity secrets. Magical longevity secrets. Here's the thing. Michael Hearn has still an enormous fan base when he says stuff every single day in every interview that is not suspected lies, not, oh, bullshit, because a lot of people get accused of lying, and people's proof that they're lying isn't actually legitimate proof. All right, it's just they decide they're lying. Or they're accused of saying things maybe they didn't even say and get accused of lying. That happens a lot on the internet. I get that. But he says things repeatedly in interview after interview after interview and video after video that when you look them up, he's lying. You can easily tell because you can just go look up records. He doesn't hold that record. Dr. Nunaman Ra pulled the same thing. Dr. Nunaman Ra claims to be a world record holder in powerlifting, and that's in his secrets to longevity. He's not even within 100 pounds of the deadlift record for his age class. He's not even within 100 pounds of the American record, let alone a world record. So you got Dr. Nunaman Ra pulls the same thing. All these fake natties who have a big hustle to sell you, they love to lie about being record holders. And it's ridiculous because you can look these records up yourself. It seems to be a reoccurring pattern with fake natties. They lie about holding records and then make claims of how strong they are or were strong, and you look and it's like you would have been the American record holder by a pretty large margin had that you actually got that verified and done that in a meet. You chose not to. And I watch you today and you're way weaker today, but you have more muscle than you had back then. Come on, Mike. And then these people sell products, absurd products. and use them themselves as an example of their proof. No, guys, how about years of drug use? Years of drug use combined with some pretty good genetics is how you get there. Because, you know, drugs don't work amazing for everyone. Not everyone gets amazing results. But if you use pretty hefty doses, you can get better results, even if your genetics aren't great. But genetics and drugs, that's their secrets while they claim all these outrageous things. And, you know, that's the thing I figured out with Mike, and other companies should pay attention here. It's pretty much obvious at this point when you look at all the hustles. If Mike O'Hearn endorses something, you should immediately become suspicious of it. Like, that's actually proof that it's probably overhyped junk. Without even looking at the product at this point, because he seems to have a fetish. He seems to have a hard-on for overpriced, worthless garbage. Like, he can't even just promote the normal stuff that everyone else in the industry does. It's just a bit of a ripoff. No, he has to go. Sorry to burp there, guys. Burping up my chicken. He has to go for the overpriced fucking garbage that is literally priced at something like 50 times its value. Every time. It seems like every single thing that he puts his name on, they charge like 50 times what it's actually worth. Or at least 10 times, if not 50 times. 10 times seems to be the minimum. And it's like, so you almost know the second he endorses something, the second he puts his name on it or talks about how amazing it is, it's like a red flag automatically to say, what, this company's selling garbage. They associated themselves with him. Yeah, fuck that. That's like a sign you should run, that it's snake oil, the second you see Mike O'Hearn attached to it. In fact, it's so bad at this point that if there was a product that had actual research coming out to endorse it, backing it, and Mike O'Hearn jumped up to endorse it, I would immediately become extremely suspicious of it and want to go double check the research and call for more data. Just because Mike endorsed it, it like automatically brings it down a notch. You need further proof now because it's that bad. Or you know that, okay, well, it's proven, but they're about to charge $1,000 for it. It's going to be a $30 product, and it's going to be sold for $1,000 if Mike puts his name on it. That's the other thing that you just know automatically, and that you could probably just go buy it yourself somewhere for $30. Because it's almost like when he puts his name on something, he demands that it be sold for an astronomical price that's unrealistic and absurd. Just like automatically. It's like he must have it in a contract or something. I don't know. But yeah, strongest drug-free American teenage squat in history, and nobody witnessed it. That's pretty awesome, Mike. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.